Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel, and thanks for joining us for another video. I've got to be honest with you, for the past half an hour, 45 minutes, we've actually been stood outside Old Trafford speaking to many Manchester United fans, to the point where I've just jumped on stream with my dad, Tony, and I'm actually trying to remember what the stream was going to be about today. But luckily enough, we won a semi-final last night. We're in the final of the Europa League. So come and have your say in the comments section, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Yeah, help us out here, because like I say, we've been outside for the past 45 minutes or so. Just literally sat down. Remembered we've got a stream going on, luckily enough.
Well, listen, it's days like this. I feel privileged doing the channel, doing it for yous out there, but also being 50 yards away, walking outside Old Trafford and meeting everybody. Outside here, I've got to tell you, the weather is gorgeous, and there is fans have been coming here all morning, and it has been packed outside there. I'm meeting loads of fans, talking to them and that. Everyone's in the same mood, but they're not just in the same mood for the, like, what happened, we're in the final and everything else like that. They've all got an understanding of where this club is, and it's great to have the conversation. Yeah, some people are disagreeing with certain things about last night's game, but overall they all understand what the game was, how it went through, nerves and everything else like that. But I'm telling you, days like this, I'm so privileged to be on the stream, right, and to be outside every day virtually where United fans are, and that is what I love, and it's been great.
Yeah, and I love it myself as well, getting you all involved with different opinions as well. And a lot of opinions coming in already. Yeah. You and Webby had a chat last night in a video discussing Ahmad and Garnacho as well. And I've seen a lot of people last night. I want to, like, I know you two are the main guys on the channel, etc. You know, you're the top dogs, you know, with all that. And I didn't really like it. You mentioning Garnacho, though, as Ahmad's over Garnacho, and, you know, comparing them two players.
Well, I look at it this way, and a lot of people do, and that's why they like the channel. And, you know, we don't sort of like stick to an agenda. Kieran's got an agenda, we stick to that. No, the good thing and why people like this channel is Webby and Kieran have got an opinion. I've got an opinion. And last night, there was different opinions on certain aspects of going forward, and certainly in the game. You know, you talk about game time, or we need to rest players and all that. People have different opinions on this channel, and we don't all suck up to each other. That's why people enjoy it. We will give our opinion, and it's there for discussion. You know, we don't need the abuse and all that, and we try not to give the abuse back to yous out there, because that would be suicide on our part. But it's about opinions. And Webby sometimes has different opinions. Kieran has different opinions than what I do. And that's what it's about. But I must say, I was right and them two was wrong. But that's the way it is.
Yeah, I understand that. And don't get me wrong, Ahmad, a lot of us, I think, will agree out there. This starting 11 is a lot better with him starting in it, even coming on in the last 20 minutes. And just looking at the actual title, like I've just done now, you know, we was discussing earlier on about it's a big problem for Ruben Amorim, and it's something that he's got to fix, especially on the back of last night's performances from Mason Mount and Ahmad. A lot of fans, I've seen the comments this morning on your reaction with Webby, that they want them to starting now in the final. It's whether or not do we give them game time in the last couple of Premier League games that we've got before that actual Europa final, or do we wrap them up in cotton wool? Everyone's got an opinion. I want to know yours out there.
Yeah, well, this is all down to Ruben Amorim. We can all have opinions. Okay, we can give him. I've given mine. Lots of people last night and this morning have given theirs. But he's paid to do the job, and this is what it's about. This is the biggest club in the world, and winning this Europa League final is massive. Being in it is massive, to be honest with you, with the disastrous season what we've had. But Ruben Amorim has to get this right. It's so important, and I wouldn't like to be him. Yes, Mason Mount had an excellent time on the game last night, and Ahmad, he has to be in the starting line. Who does he drop? Well, you just don't know. I might give an opinion now and say, oh, this is my starting 11. But we might get injuries. People might just like be ill or something like that. Anything can happen. So I think we have to wait. Well, I'm going to wait, definitely wait, because I'm not, how can I say it, like, I think it'd be foolish of me to give me starting 11 now. I think I've got to wait nearer the time. Yes, I want Ahmad to play. And I look at Mason Mount. Listen, Amorim fancies him. He goes on about him. He's had to tell him to tone it down in training. You're doing too much and all that. He spoke highly of him. So he's a player, what Ruben Amorim wants, fit and everything. So it's how he manages him and how he sees him over the next couple of games before the final. And I think it's 50-50 whether he starts him or not. And he might have a look at the opposition and say, do you know what? I can start Mason Mount. But the one thing about Mason Mount is, what I like, he goes forward. He's never looking, I might be wrong here, but the way I see it with my eye test, he's never looking to pass it back at anything. He's always looking to go forward, pass it forward, get on the edge of the box, get in the box. That's the good thing about him. So he does change the pace of the game, and he's got a big, big job and a big decision, Ruben Amorim, on this starting 11. Because, to be honest with you, do the other games matter? Most people out there I've been talking to be honest with you, couldn't care less. They know what the priority is.
Yeah, with Mason Mount, you know, when it started getting linked with him with Manchester United from Chelsea, we was all for that transfer. Obviously, looking back now, his injury record, it's not great. And I mentioned to you last night, I think next season, because I still think he'll be here at United, it's a huge season for him to prove his fitness next season. But for me, he brings all the attributes that you want, and especially in this system that Ruben Amorim deploys, and that's in that number 10 role. Yeah. He brings you that high energy, always on the front foot, looking forward. And he's a player... I mean, you might think this is totally wrong, judging off the 2 goals last night he scored, but he does the basics right. He keeps things simple. He keeps the ball ticking over 1-2 touch football. He's not one of these players who's going to start dribbling past 1 or 2 players, you know, them flair players. But you need players like Mason Mount, who's a team player, in your starting 11, because he will have that work rate, that intensity that we are going to need. And him and the likes of Cunha, who we will possibly, hopefully, fingers crossed, sign as well in the summer. You know, that is going to be a big upgrade in our starting 11 if we can keep them players fit like Mason Mount. Ahmad as well, forward thinking every single time. And, you know, there's been a debate between myself, you and Webby, especially over the last 7 to 10 days, about Ahmad's best position. I've got to be honest with you, I like him at wing-back. I really do like him at wing-back. I think he just gives us that option where we're not thinking to ourselves, we're defensive, we're playing with 5 defenders. I just think with him and Dorgu on the left-hand side, it looks a lot more attacking. And Ahmad's first thought, like I say, is always going forward. And if you can get players in that number 10 role, like your Bruno, your Cunha if he comes, your Mason Mount, Ahmad on the right, I just think that gives us a lot more of attacking stability going forward. And players who can keep the ball as well.
Yeah, the good thing about Ahmad is his work rate. He does track back and he does get back in there, but his priority is going at players, and he frightens them to death. And any defender will tell you when someone's running at you and they're tricky like Ahmad, that they just don't want it. It's like give up time. Get me off the pitch. Yeah. The man's making me look a fool. And Ahmad does make people look a fool. But in that wing-back role, he does work back. He does work hard, and that's fantastic to see. But me personally, I prefer him further up forward, but I'm not arguing over it, because I think he's excellent in both positions. But for the team, I think it's part of the team work ethic. He's working for the team by tracking back. He's helping out and all that, and it doesn't seem to faze him. So I'm comfortable wherever he plays and that. But with Mason Mount, the discussion about him is, should we give him more game time? Should we get him more fitter than that? Should we risk him? And there is a debate about it. We mentioned it last night. And really, looking back at it today, I think to myself, you know, should we start him against West Ham? Should we start him against Chelsea? Should we give him more game time? Is it a big risk and all that? But then, you know, it's an opinion. And I think he should have more game time, because at the end of the day, if he's going to start, he has to prove his fitness. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, because I wouldn't like him not to have been tested and then start him in a game and then he breaks down. So it's very, very important for Mason Mount the next few weeks, okay, with his body, with his fitness, because going forward, he has to be right at the start of the season. So it's tricky. I'm wrong, I'm right about playing him, not playing him. It's just a matter of like an opinion. But his body, difficult.
Yeah, for me, Ahmad has got to start right wing back. got all the grass to run into.
Yes.
For me, and the intensity, you know, that quick burst of pace over the first 10 to 15 yards. I've seen it a few times. I remember it against Southampton. I think Arsenal away as well, when he come on as substitute, how quickly he can nick the ball off the opposition, where he sort of like drags him in until like a false sense of security, and he can just spring and nick the ball off him. And I like it when he's got the ball at his feet and he's running at players.
Yeah.
And I just think from that wing back spot, he's got all of the attributes to do that, and also then link up with the players who were forward of him. But he's one of them players who won't stop. He won't just stop, give it sideways or forwards.
Keeps going.
He then will keep going, looking for the 1-2, and that's where I think Ahmad's best at. Like I say, everyone's got a difference of opinion out there. Luckily for us, though, we've got a player in this squad like Ahmad, and there's far and few between with players like that in our squad. So it's a good thing for us. Recently signed a contract, and let's hope, fingers crossed, he improves and improves.
Yeah, what you've got to look at is he will improve, but in that wing-back role, he seems to have a little bit more space where he can get the ball and then work out what he's going to do. So he's got a little bit more time there. So I do like it in there. And what you've got to sort of look at is, at the start of the season, look, change is coming. Everyone's been saying it this morning, change is coming. They understand it. How will that impact how this team goes forward? Who's going to be in the team? And we'll see it on the pitch. Fingers crossed, it will improve. So with Ahmad there, he's like a starting point. He will be a focal as the attack, and then other players to come in, people we buy or people what are just there at the moment. The change of style will come, and everyone knows it, but everyone's comfortable with it. They know winning the Europa League is massive, but they also understand how massive it is for Ruben Amorim to make the changes, and we've just got to wait and see. For now, it's all in. Everything is in on that final. And for Tottenham as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Everything's in with them. They've got everything to gain and everything to lose. So for both clubs, winning it beyond our dreams this year. Both have been absolute rubbish in the league, but to lose it is absolutely a nightmare for both teams. But I've never ever felt we'd ever lose this final. I've always felt we'll get to the final and we'll win it, because this squad is good enough. And I think the pressure for Tottenham is too much, to be honest with you.
I think there's just amount of equal pressure on both teams, to be honest with you. But let us know your thoughts. What I do want to get your opinions on is Lenny Yoro. Not just his performance last night, but recent performances as well. And he's very, very much still a young lad, a lot to learn. But there's promising signs there. So let me know what your thoughts are on Yoro, because I'm just going to ring off a couple of comments in the chat before to get your opinions on him. Patrick Shields, thanks for your super chat.
Top man.
He said, I love Tony's shout regarding Thierry Henry's cheat last week from Ireland.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well, I was right on it, because it was an absolute disgrace. It was a setup, but hey.
Yeah, I am titanium. The players seemed up for it. Ahmad come on, basically changed the game. Richard Club Sports says, a fit Mason Mount is a huge asset to Manchester United. The guy is absolutely class, as he showed last night, and in a few cameos. Scott Farrell says, this was called out right at the start of Amorim's reign. Not too sure which question you're responding to there, mate, but thanks for getting involved. Nikos P, Dorgu at right wing back and Ahmad in front of him looked dangerous. I mean, I'm a big fan of Dorgu. Mentioned it ever since that Tottenham away game. I didn't think he was getting the service that he actually deserved with some of his runs in that game, even though we were beaten, was it 1-0 by Spurs? But thinking over the last few games, I mean, he gets the ball sometimes, and it's like the ground just opens up in front of him, and he ends up on his backside, and you're thinking, what's going on here, lad? Do you know what I mean? Your first touch, you know, over the first few yards. But listen, he's only just come to the club. He needs to settle down, get used to his environment, you know, young lad moving country, etc. You know, I've got high hopes for Dorgu. I really have. There's some attributes there with the pace, the power, you know, some of the crossing that we've seen him put in as well. I think he can only improve. So let's hope it's just a touch of nerve sometimes with Dorgu, playing on a big occasion in front of 75,000 people and playing for a club like Manchester United as well. And yeah, you know, let's get behind Dorgu, because I do like him.
I think what people were talking about last night, and I mentioned it about Dorgu, right? I didn't think he had a great game, but I don't think any of them had a great game. but it all changed when the substitutes come on. They all got up for it because they were on the front foot, but they were on the front foot with an attacker, with someone like Ahmad, who they knew was going to produce. So everyone sort of stepped it up. There was none of that negative looking back and all that, do you know what I mean? And Dorgu was sort of like guilty of not like committing himself going down the wing because he was nervous, everyone else was nervous, and he never had the backup. I thought they all could have done a lot better in that first hour. But listen, they've shown the capabilities once them changes were made. Manchester United is an attacking side, and it's very rarely do we able to see Manchester United as a team go attacking. They do it in spits and spurts. What we want to see is the Manchester United of old. We want to get off our seats. We want to be excited. And hopefully, Ruben Amorim, once he takes this final and wins it in style, right, we'll be able to move on and produce an attacking, exciting football team where they're on the front foot and none of this, not too much negative, square passing the ball back. And Dorgu and the rest of them last night were nervous and they didn't get in the rhythm till late on. So I'm not over-criticising him because I understand the enormity of what they faced. Do we do this? Do we do that? They were unsure. Never mind the instructions what Ruben Amorim gave him. You're out on that pitch and you're still not sure.
Cunha says, success as an impact sub does not guarantee success as a starter. But some fans never learn or understand that. Sound a bit of a philosopher there, mate. A bit of an Eric Cantona inside you. Richard Cup Sports says, Yoro, now I can see why he was so highly rated before Ineos pounced and signed him. And there's a few people in the chat comparing him to even Raphael Varane, like Matt Stewart, etc. And I think we've still got to be calm on players like Yoro, Ahmad, even Garnacho, Mainu, etc., because they're still young, they're still developing, learning the trade, and you are going to get highs and probably extreme highs as well, but you're also going to come across some lows where they do have dips in form. It's just about trying to build a squad that's got quality in it so you can take these younger players out for 2 or 3 games, then put them back in.
You're not guaranteed anything with any player, whether that's top level or not. You look at Mbappe, you look at Neymar for PSG, for instance. They were 2 world stars, failed on the big stage, okay? So you're never guaranteed with any player. And I go back to Yoro. I look at Yoro, I think he's a good player, but you know something? A lot of people haven't said this. He keeps getting put in different positions and he still keeps performing. Okay, I like the fella, but he needs to be able to cement a place. And that's why I say when the changes are coming in the summer, people like Ahmad, for instance, where's he going to play? Dorgu, where's he going to play? But Yoro, okay, he needs to cement a place and Amorim has to sort that out. It's a big puzzle. He's played on the left, he's played in the centre, he's played on the right. You know, and for me, I think he's done excellent for a player what's not nailed down a position because of the injuries and everything else what's going on in the club.
The thing is, for me, Yoro, he gives you something different. Then again, you look at Maguire, his wing play over in Bilbao last week, but with Yoro, you're looking at it last night, the way he can step up into midfield.
No, that's right.
Even in an attack into their like 18-yard box with the ball, looks comfortable, looks confident with it as well. You've seen it with the Lyon game here at home, made a run forward, and was it Tolisso, their midfielder captain? He got sent off as well, but I'm seeing more and more of that from Yoro, where we need that from one of the back three who steps up into midfield, gives the extra man in there, so the team can actually, you know, keep that sustained attack as well.
Well, you want the back three to step up anyway as a natural going forward to be on the front foot. What I'm saying is I like everything about Yoro, but what I'd like more, right, is for him to cement a place. But that is going to come over time. Like you say, he's a young lad. The team is what the team is. We all know what it's like. It's up and down, right? And Ruben Amorim does like to put players in different positions to test them and that. So at the moment, in his development, Lenny Yoro, I think it's good that he's being moved about. But at some point, he'll want to see a position. This is what I'm good at. And that's what I'd want to see. That might come in 12 months' time because of the situation with the changes coming in the summer. But for now, I think whatever happens to him and what I'm seeing with him, I think we've got an excellent footballer with someone with a football brain and he carries himself well.
Yeah, he seems to, in my opinion anyway, I don't know about yours, I think Amorim prefers him on that left-hand side as a free, and it's going to be very interesting to see when Martinez comes back, recovers from his actual long-term injury, what goes on there. But you've got two very good players there who can be challenging for that one position. People might out there also add Luke Shaw to that as well, if he's still here next season.
Listen,
3 players for one position.
Yeah, I look at Lenny Yoro.
Aiden Heaven as well.
Yeah, I look at him on the right, and that's what I'm saying. You've just mentioned Aiden Heaven, and we're forgetting, right? And we still might bring in another centre half. So it's all experimenting, but I just like to see players get in one position, what they're good at, and every now and again they might have to be used somewhere else. And I think that's what's happening to Lenny Yoro and many, many other players out there at the moment.
Rob, Always United from our members club, says, I think Ahmad and Yoro are generational talents.
Well,
yeah, big words, mate. I don't really like always jumping on the bandwagon with them phrases, to be honest with you.
No, I think they've got the talent there to improve and be top-notch players. But, you know, we've just got to watch with these young players going forward, you know what I mean? They have got the talent. I've got to agree. You know, it might go wrong. Fingers crossed for them, do you know what I mean? But for now, what we're seeing, it's all encouragement, and that's what you want. And this team and these players are going to take time to gel. We're going to bring in players each year, changing it up. But they will gel, and they've shown capability.
The thing is, you would like to see now, you know, with all the changes going on in the background at Manchester United, whether that also helps some of these youngsters to bring stability where, you know, they keep the feet on the ground as well. And the manager and the coaching staff have got a big part to play in that. Even the fans as well, instead of just going overboard, hyping a player up too soon, where, you know, in the past, you know, young players have been given way too much money in contracts, made to feel like they've already made it at a football club, made it at a professional footballer. So let's hope the changes in the background, in what we hear all the time, in what Sir Jim Ratcliffe and co are trying to do in the background. Let's hope that actually works and it keeps a lot of these players' feet on the ground, where they have to prove everything every single week in training, in the football games, instead of having a bit of a spell over a course of 2 to 3 months and then they just drift off into the abyss.
I look at this with these young players. I was worried to be bringing them in this year into the carnage and chaos what we've seen, but I actually think it's done them the world of good, because they've not got cocky, they've not got overconfident in that. And the thing is, they've had to work hard. I mean, overly hard. Positions what they're not used to, running back, doing things they're not used to. And I think they've proved themselves. So when I look at it now, right, I look at it completely different. I think these players have excelled, okay, because of the work rate and the commitment. They're not up there giving it, I'm the big Charlie and all that. They're looking at it as if to say, I've got to work hard to get my position in this club, and that's what you want. And there's a lot of youngsters in there, but to be honest with you, I think they've really done well, and I think it's going to do them the world of good going forward next year.
Fred Grantham from our members club, I agree the players' positions have to be sorted and stability will follow in performances. And
in time.
There's one thing, despite the poor performances in the Premier League, and I've said it for a number of months now, in the past, under certain managers, or all the managers post-Fergie, let's be honest with ourselves, it looks like there's been a majority of that dressing room who have down tools on managers, where the managers have ended up getting sacked. Despite the poor performances, I can't see any of the players in that squad who were down in tools or not fighting when they're given an opportunity on that pitch. Yes, they might not have the required quality, but in terms of work rate, wanting to win the ball, trying to carry out the instructions for the manager, I don't see any players not doing that. Yeah. They're all trying, and that's something we've been lacking in this football club for many a year now. So
that's what
I hope that's a positive for the actual manager going forward as well into next season, that we can actually carry that sort of momentum, that fight into next season, and obviously add the quality which is much needed in the summer.
I think the problem what we've got, right, there's still a lot of dead wood to get rid of in there. Yeah. So to turn it round and that, and when players, people accuse players like of down in tools and that, right, I think we've got rid of them players. they've been earmarked to go and that. But you also got to look in the background and that. There's people with bad attitudes what have been getting paid in the background, men in suits, certain coaches, certain admin people and all that. And it's just gone right through that malaise. But what it is, Ruben Amorim, I sort of like put the law down. This is what you do. If you don't do it, you're out. And I think a lot of people have been put on notice that at the end of the season, they'll be out. But the chaos will still be there. It can't be got rid of in one summer. Talking to Ryan Giggs, he was talking about possibly 9 players he thought needed moving out. Well, at the end of the day, that takes a while, and he did describe that's going to take a while. So being in the Europa League final, seeing these youngsters is all exciting at the moment, but I come back to reality. And the reality is, lots of fans understand this is going to take time and possibly a lot longer than the PR machine, what keeps telling us it's 2028. But, hey, you just never know. It might be quicker than I think and a lot of people think. But there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot of deadwood and everything in the background. But the players down in tools, no. Players aren't down in tools going forward now. You see it. They're not given time to down tools because soon as they down tools, the manager's on them. He knows what's going on and the law's laid down and he won't have it. He just won't have it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've said for many a week, many a month now, I expect to see improvement next season. That's me just being honest. I don't expect real progress. And that's in terms of the way I look at that in challenging and being around the top 4. I always think, and I've always said, it'll take 3 summer transfer windows to completely change this starting 11, actually build a squad. And that's most important, building a squad for a long, long season where you're going to compete in, obviously, the domestic cup competitions and hopefully Europe. But I do want to see improvement next season. I mean, you know, we could possibly finish 17th this season. It's not good enough. And
I think what it is with the improvement and that, yes, the manager's there, highly rated and everything, and he has to improve these players and that. But he's only got one player of his own, and that's Dorgu.
Heaven as well.
Yeah. Evan's a young lad. He's come through there, but I'm saying going out there, getting a player, okay, of the stature what you need going forward. Heaven's there, right, to be brought through, a young player. Dorgu was brought in to be impact player straight in. That's how I'm looking at it, okay? So he's got Dorgu, but managers want their players for 11 positions. That's how managers do it. So he's only got one. So how long is it's going to be before he gets all the players he wants? And that's why I'm saying I think possibly 3 years might be to get this team back where it should be. Might be just a little bit too quick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know, I understand that. Judging off my own opinion, I think it's 3 summer transfer windows. But Ruben Amorim, as we know, has only got a 2.5-year contract. That's the deal he signed at Manchester United. And I firmly believe that the people inside the football club, based on the performances in the Premier League this season, will want to see improvement.
Yes, I agree.
Starting 11,
we all
week
do.
on week in the Premier League. And let's have it right. As fans, we do want to be entertained because it's been a very, very poor season. So if we can get that, some momentum, I mean, just to win back-to-back Premier League games next season, I mean, that's not too much to ask here, is it?
Well, it's not too much to ask.
You know, that's something that we've not been able to do this season.
Well, it's not too much to ask to get an improvement out of professional footballers who were paid a lot of money, who were supposed to enjoy playing football. It's their job. You know, we want players to improve and put on a performance. Fans coming to Old Trafford, and I've been for a long time now, I've been walking here with long faces. You know, I mean, long faces. They're thinking, what am I doing here? But you're supporting the club. And they understand it, but they want to be excited. They want improvement. But some of these players have to be improved, or they're out, or other players will come in. That's how I see it, and that's how fans see it. But they know it will take time.
I mean, when you're a top club, all you need to do in a summer transfer window is really bring in 1 or 2 top players just to bring into the squad, just to freshen it up. Manchester United aren't in that position. In my opinion, we need at least 4, maybe 5 players in each summer transfer window for the next 3 years. And, you know, if you're looking at it logically, the players you bring in every summer, they're not always going to work out. Just look at the clubs out there. Not every single signing works out over the course of like 3 to 4 years. Normally, they're generally sold 1 or 2 of them each season, you know, after like 3 or 4 years. So the recruitment is going to be huge at this football club. And if they do get it right, I mean, hats off to him, because like I say, we're going to need a number of players in here, and they're going to have to be the right profile of players where they don't just play in one position, they can play in 2 or 3 different positions.
This is all about standards going forward. The standards in every department inside this club since Sir Alex Ferguson left has gone down and down and down. They need raising up. The players' standards needs raising up. The staff, their standards, everyone inside United. And we won't achieve anything until you see the standards rise, and someone has to put the whip down and get it sorted out, because the standards need to be... You won't achieve nothing, okay, with standards, but you also won't achieve nothing if you haven't got in that squad 2 players for every position who can go out on that field, right, and perform to a high standard. And we've not seen that for a long time. So there's a long way to go, okay? But you definitely need the standards to rise in every department in the club, and you need 2 players for every position of quality.
Diving into the chat, Rob, always United, I think it was, has gifted 5 memberships.
Thank you.
Marcus Stevenson has also gifted 5 memberships.
Top man.
Along with, I think it's Fred Grantham, who's gifted another 5 memberships. So the 15 people who've been gifted them memberships by them absolute free legends, give a big thank you to them, because it's much appreciated. Go and check out our members only playlist while you're over there, because there's some decent videos on there, and there will be future content. Also, just a quick buzz for the interview that my dad Tony done with Ryan Giggs this morning. If you've not gone and watched that, have a check out on our interview playlist, because it's a cracking interview with everything on United, let's say. All things Manchester United.
Yeah, we got Ryan back on. Not had him on for a while. You know, busy fella, we all know that. And like the others, we used to get them all on the Class of 92, but everyone's busy doing things. We used to get them on regularly, didn't we, when it was COVID and all that. But hey, the life's changed and all that. So getting Ryan on again, had him on a few months ago. Always good value for comments, and he's straight down the line. Excellent person to interview, and excellent to get on with.
One thing I've just remembered, and I think I put it in the title, obviously, if he was joining us at the start, we said it was a bit of a rush from getting outside Old Trafford onto the stream, so I'm a little bit behind, but I've seen this earlier on, and obviously it's news on Matheus Cunha. Let me know if you take this with a pinch of salt, though, from this journalist Ben Jacobs, or is he normally reliable with the stuff he comes out with? But he's saying that the likes of Newcastle and Arsenal are in the race, though, for Matheus Cunha. I mean, this is the last thing we want, because you was mentioning only a couple of weeks ago the deals with Cunha and the likes of Liam Delap. You want them done and dusted by the end of this season, so it's ready to be announced as soon as that window opens.
This, to me, is someone who's putting something out to try and get his own headlines to detract from the Europa League final, Tottenham and Man United. He wants to stand out. That's how I look at it. Why wasn't this out yesterday, last night? And he's done it. I mean, was it out last night or today? But anyway, last 24 hours, he's put this out. I'm having none of it. Of course, Cunha will be looked at by other clubs and that, but to bring it out now, it's to take it away and put the eyeballs on him as though he's in the know. I take this with a pinch of salt. Cunha is talking to United. I think it's going to be a done deal, and he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
but I'm also saying other clubs, quite rightly, should have looked at him already. And for me, you've not heard the stories of other clubs looking at him 2 months ago, 3 months ago. It's all been United. And I think this man is just sticking his head up there and just trying to change the narrative like they do. You've got to understand, our detractors, okay, they will be out there trying to really give it on United. Any negativity or anything like that, you know, you point to United's league position, they're going to come piling in, trust me. They're not going to be happy. They will not be happy if United win that Europa League. You know, that's your detractors for you. And this is another detractor. I'm not fully on board with all his comments, what he does. I've seen many, and I think to myself...
Who's this?
Jacobs.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, I think
just say it how it is. You don't have to hold your tongue.
Well, I'm trying to say, I just think he's anti-Man United, and he will just throw anything in, and this is what this is.
That's it. Genghis Khan thinks the same. Ben Jacobs is just a waffle merchant.
That's what I meant to say instead of waffling on like I just have done.
Yeah, so he's got it bang on there, Genghis. And I think there's also a few people in the chat agreeing with that as well. The dude is deluded. Yeah, a lot of people getting involved.
Let me tell you this, detractors and all that.
You're our eyes and ears out there as well, so we do take notice of what you actually say.
Yeah, when I talk about detractors and that, let's get something straight going forward here now, okay? This club will bounce back at some point. It's inevitable, okay? And that's what they're all scared of. They're all scared of Manchester United bouncing back, right, and challenging and being able to compete for the top honours, okay? Because everyone, as far as I'm concerned, hates Man United, and they just love it, and they will pile in like we've all seen, okay? But we will bounce back. It is inevitable.
Nikos P says, in other news, Barca want Rashford, but haven't got the cash. I think that's also in my...
Not having it. No, just not having it.
Well, listen, from what I've seen of Barcelona, only in the Champions League this season, I'm looking at their wide players, their forward players, and I'm looking at Marcus Rashford. His performances for Man United and Aston Villa this season, he doesn't even get on the bench for me, but that's just my opinion on the whole Marcus Rashford-Barcelona thing.
Listen, why would Barcelona even comment on Marcus Rashford when they know he's on £375 a week, okay? And they're saying that they can't afford him. Why would you even say it? So that means there's no conversations between the agent and that. And I did say the other day, not a chance is Marcus Rashford going to Barcelona. And people, and this is your detractors, they're all saying Marcus Rashford, oh, how well he's doing at Aston Villa. I am telling you with my eye test, right, and I'm telling you it straight, he has been garbage. He's played 20 minutes good football. Deserves Barcelona. Deserves Aston Villa. Nah, not for me. But that's me going on again.
Pavan,
I was having a good day.
Rashford has been a revelation for Villa.
A revelation? I just don't... I don't see it, okay? I'm either just an old silly get, right, who doesn't know anything about football. But I've looked at Rashford there, and I'm thinking, what's he done? A revelation?
I think
you might just be trying to get me at it.
Yeah, I think it's because...
Yeah, I'm ignoring it now. Forget Rashford. Anyway, I'm on a high. The weather's great. Everyone's happy. Forget Rashford. He's not at Man United. He'll just do his own thing and he'll just wander off in the sunset.
Yeah, just going off what Danny G says here. Rashford ain't anywhere close to Barcelona standards, and for me, that is facts right there. But let us know what your thoughts and opinions are on what we've discussed today. We're going to end the stream here. I think we're going to go and enjoy some sunshine.
Yes.
We're not going to do a match preview, to be honest with you, for United and West Ham. Because what is it really? The battle for 17th, to do an actual match preview for it with a smile on our face, trying to get up for it. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. All eyes are on the Europa League final.
Well, that's all the discussion's about.
Yeah.
All eyes on it. All the fans I've spoke to, not interested. Okay, yeah, they'll go at the game. Don't get me wrong, but they're not bothered because who's going to start the 11? No one knows. Okay, so you just got to wait and see. And I'm too high to talk about it. I don't want to talk about West Ham. Okay, I want to just carry on the day, right? Talking to United fans, getting on with what we're doing, and I can't pick and choose.
I mean,
listen, the game will be the game, and whatever it is whatever it is. It doesn't matter, and that's what the fans, what have been here, said. That's what they've been saying. It doesn't matter. Let's hope it's a good game. That's what they're saying, and that's what I'm saying. And if it is fantastic.
A lot of fans, I think, especially the second part of the season, have just been coming to the ground expecting the worst, to be honest with you. But it's just more important for a lot of fans, and rightly so, just to meet up with friends and family that they've been doing for a constant number of years now, following Manchester United home and away. And that's been a big aspect of that with the fans coming to Old Trafford. And we've had some decent moments, good moments in the Europa League. But apart from that, there's nothing to be excited about or anything to try and put a positive spin on it, in my point of view. And I'm not going to just sit here and push content out for no reason when I'm not really up for it. I can't fake things. I'm not an actor. I'm just a normal supporter like yous all out there. So and that is exactly how I feel. And he put it a lot better than I did.
we're not going to fake enthusiasm for the West Ham game, okay, and speculate, because it is all speculation. I mean, what's Ruben Amorim really going to say, right, to sort of get us excited and all that? It's, I don't know my team, I'm not sure, I've just got to look at him, I've got to rest him, I've got to do... That's all he's going to say. And we're not going to fake it. There's actually no need to do this. Yes, some people might be disappointed, and we're sorry about that, but we can't get up for it because it's all speculation.
One thing is, though, we will be at the game on Sunday.
Yes.
And our mood will change when that whistle kicks off. Don't you worry about that.
Oh,
just like a lot of yous out there, like every single week.
I'm looking forward to the game. I am looking forward to it, to see what Ruben Amorim does and how he looks at going forward. Will he rest players and all that, right? But it'd just be speculation, and we don't really... Well, I don't feel as though like I'm up for it.
Yeah, I'm just not up for the game.
No.
On the day when the whistle goes, it's a totally different story.
Oh, different.
But chatting about it, trying to make...
I don't think there's a need for it, is there?
Yeah, if you want to chat about it, though, by all means, please get involved in the chat, because I'm sure a lot of yous out there will still do that. But on that note, yeah, we are going to leave yous. Smash a like on today's video. We'll be back after the game on Sunday. If you're looking for any more content that you've not seen, check out my dad Tony's reaction, also his video with Webby on last night's game. And also, if you've not checked it out, that interview with Ryan Giggs. It's a great interview. A lot of positive feedback already in the comment section. So go and check that out. And we'll be back after the game on Sunday.